What if the most dangerous man in town wasn't hiding in the shadows, but standing at the pulpit preaching about salvation? In the frozen heart of the Midwest, a mute woman named Liz lives in silence. But when a stranger in a preacher's collar comes to town, her quiet world begins to crack and the whispers of her past become screams she can no longer ignore. This is the story of how one woman's silence became her sharpest weapon and how the devil himself burned in the snow. Liz works as a midwife. Her life is simple, wrapped in the routine of tending to her husband Eli, his teenage son Matthew, and her own daughter, Sam. They live far from the noise of the world, in a farmhouse surrounded by endless plains and biting winds. Liz can't speak, her tongue taken by cruelty years ago, but her eyes and hands speak enough for those who know her. One Sunday morning, the church pews fill with whispers. A new preacher has arrived. They call him the Reverend, and his voice is smooth, too smooth, sliding into the ears of the congregation like warm honey. But Liz freezes the moment she sees him. He preaches about false prophets and the corruption of society, his eyes scanning the crowd, lingering far too long on her. The words aren't just a sermon. They're a threat only she seems to hear. After the service, Liz stays in the carriage, avoiding him completely. But when Abigail, a young pregnant woman, collapses inside the church, Liz rushes to help. In the dim candlelight, sweat on her brow, she works to deliver the child, but the Reverend's gaze pierces her like a blade. Then he vanishes. The birth turns dire. The baby's head is too large and Liz must choose, save the child or save the mother. She saves Abigail and the baby dies. That night, Eli holds her close. "It wasn't your fault. It was God's will," he says softly. But Liz's hands sign the truth. It was him. The Reverend. Eli shakes his head. "You're imagining things." The following night, a gunshot shatters the calm. Outside, Nathan, Abigail's grief-stricken husband, staggers drunk, firing at the house and screaming that Liz belongs in hell for killing his son. The barn catches fire. Flames lick the cold night air. Before the situation turns deadly, the Reverend appears. He speaks to Nathan in a low, controlled tone and somehow convinces him to leave. Liz stands in the doorway, shaking her head, silently pleading with Eli not to let this man inside. But Eli, grateful for the help, invites him in for a drink. Over whiskey, the Reverend leans in and says, "You chose who lived and who died, when that choice belongs to God." Liz stays hidden in the next room, her pulse pounding. Eli comes looking for her, but the Reverend finds her first, his voice low, promising punishment. When Eli returns, he's gone. The next morning, horror awaits in the pasture. Every sheep they own has been slaughtered. One pregnant ewe lies open, her unborn lamb killed alongside her. Eli assumes Nathan's to blame. He and Matthew head to town to confront him. Liz stays behind with Sam, guiding her past the bloody scene with a blindfold. Then she heads into the barn to clean up. The door slams shut. Locked. Through a gap in the wood, she sees the Reverend leading Sam away by the hand. Panic surges. Liz climbs a stool toward the window, but slips, smashing to the ground, darkness swallowing her. When she wakes, Sam is back, sitting quietly, but her words cut deep. "Mom, am I evil? The Reverend says you killed someone. He's here to take you back." That night, Liz leaves while Eli sleeps, riding into town to the church. Knife in hand, she creeps into the Reverend's quarters, but finds only Sam's doll tucked under his blanket. Back at home, the Reverend slips into the barn where Eli tends the animals. Without warning, he drives a blade into Eli's back, over and over. Eli collapses, gasping, his intestines spilling into his trembling hands. Liz returns to find him barely alive. He grabs her wrist, eyes pleading for mercy, but she freezes, unable to do it. Matthew steps forward, tears in his eyes. "I'll do it." A single shot ends Eli's suffering. They flee into the night, the orange glow of their burning home behind them. In the shadows, the Reverend watches, Sam's doll dangling from his fingers. A flashback pulls us into the truth. Liz's real name is Joanna. Years ago, Joanna lived under the Reverend's abuse. Her mother, Anna, was beaten and humiliated daily, paraded as a sinner before the congregation. When Joanna came of age, the Reverend's gaze shifted toward her, twisted, hungry. Her days blurred into a haze of violence, until she met Liz, a fellow victim. They dreamed of escape together. But one night the Reverend came for Joanna. Liz intervened, stabbing him, but the fight ended with Liz dead. Joanna staged the scene to look mutual, took Liz's identity, cut out her own tongue, and fled to marry Eli, believing she was free. But predators remember their prey. Snow falls in thick, blinding sheets as Joanna, now Liz, drives the carriage toward Eli's father's home. The Reverend stalks them from the woods. A trap is sprung. Matthew steps out to investigate a dead animal on the road. Gunfire erupts. He collapses in the snow, blood pooling beneath him. Liz reaches Eli's father's home. She tells him everything. But before they can plan, the Reverend is there, his knife finding its target. The old man hangs limp, nailed to the wall. He seizes Sam. Liz chases, heart hammering. Outside, he ties her to a tree, forcing her to watch as he whips her daughter, describing in detail the horrors he'll commit. Liz's wrists burn as she twists free, reaching for a lantern. In one motion, she smashes it against him. Fire roars up his body. Still, he staggers toward her, spewing scripture. One shot. His body sails backward through the window, disappearing into the snow. Months later, the sawmill Liz rebuilt hums with life. Workers pass Sam like family, and for the first time, peace feels possible. But Nathan, now the sheriff, arrives with a piece of paper, a wanted poster for the real Liz. He believes she's the woman in the picture, Joanna. Rather than let Sam see her taken in chains, Liz walks silently to the frozen lake. The wind bites her face as she steps forward and disappears beneath the ice. Years pass. Sam grows into a strong woman with a family of her own. She keeps one thing alive, the memory of a mother who fought hell itself to protect her. Evil doesn't always come with a snarl. Sometimes it smiles, it preaches, it blesses you. But when it meets someone who refuses to bow, even the devil can burn.